Instead, the people of Deliverance had clung to their old beliefs and were praying for the day when this punishment would be lifted and they could go back to a life free of labor. Only Taemon and Amma knew that no such day was coming. Still, every week he made himself go with Drig to the city, where he had to confront the repercussions of his decision, in the hope that he would find Mam and Da, or find someone who knew where they were, and maybe get word of them. So far, though, nothing. Taemon rolled up the window and sat back in his seat. Will it ever get better? Amma sighed. Someday. It has to get better someday. I'm just happy if I don't run anybody over with the hauler, Drig said. Taemon watched a man who walked beside the truck as it crept along. He looked like most city dwellers since the fall. Hair matted, shirt rumpled and dirty, side collar ripped out and replaced by yarn ties crudely laced through the fabric, side cuffs torn off, side shoes bound with strips of cloth to keep them on his feet. This was the new uniform of the people of Deliverance. After we unload all this, I've got a list of things to pick up in the city. Drig's voice cut through Taemon's gloomy mood. It'll take me a couple of hours, and if you want to take some time to look for your folks, that'd be all right. Thanks, Drig, Taemon said. There's still one asylum I haven't checked. They found the asylum, a grim, squat building secluded in a woodsy area and surrounded by an iron fence. Drig drove into a gravel parking lot that held a few abandoned quadriders. He stopped the hauler at the gate, which led to a long path lined with spindly pine trees. Now listen, when I get back to pick you up, you have to be watching for me. I can't leave the hauler to go looking for you. Taemon nodded. The hauler had come from the powerless colony, which had only a handful of corn-fueled vehicles. Now they were the only vehicles in all of Deliverance that still worked. If they left the hauler unattended, someone would surely steal it. Right, said Taemon. Thanks. I'm coming with you, Amma said, scooting across the front seat. Unless you need my help with your errands, Drig. Nah, you go on with the boy. Keep an eye on him. Taemon was grateful for the company. The abandoned asylums were even more disturbing than the rest of the city. Even though he'd never seen an asylum before the fall, he couldn't help but think they had always been disturbing. He forced his feet to move forward, stepping on the thin shadows that the trees cast across the path. He told himself that each shadow he passed brought him closer to his family, or what was left of it. His brother was gone, buried under the stones when the temple collapsed during the fall. There was no way to bring Jens back, but he could find his parents. He had to. This is the last place I know to look, Taemon said. We'll find them, Amma said. Other families got separated during the fall. It takes time, but they find each other. Taemon nodded, trying to keep his spirits up despite the unsettling sights ahead. The overgrown shrubs and grass, the cracked sidewalk, the walls streaked with water stains, the roof sagging in several places. The disrepair had clearly started long before the fall. Skies, I hate these places. Amma shuddered. I know. Before the fall, anyone who was deemed too dangerous was sent to an asylum. Usually, dangerous meant that their powers were abnormal, which Taemon now knew meant they simply had one of the rarer types of psi, like precognition or telepathy. But it could also mean their behavior was odd or violent. In the asylum, these people were medicated heavily to suppress their psionic abilities. Toward the end of his reign, Elder Nasif had used asylums as a handy way of silencing anyone who opposed him. That included Da, Taemon had learned, who'd become more and more vocal in his opposition to Nasif's warmongering ways. Mam had been deemed guilty by association. The front door was wide open and askew, the top hinge long since missing. Taemon knocked on the doorframe, a gesture that still felt a bit foreign to him, though he'd been functioning without psi for months before the fall. Hello? Anyone here? He leaned inside the door and called again.